the people that are up to something or getting up to something. It's the Maturity Project. I'm your host, Chad Everett Broshears, or search out of Broshears on me. You know. Today I wanted to talk about change. It's a tough conversation because I hear people all the time talking about they want change. They want change. They want change in their relationships or their financial situation. They want change in the business that they're in or their employment overall. They want change for, they want to feel like they matter in life, and they want change for that. They're bored with their partner sexually. They want change. There's all these things that I keep hearing. People want change in. And what always works for me that is incredibly helpful for me is that by the way that I look at the way the world works and people is back to the Maturity Project. And of course, I'm going to beat that drum because that's what this is all about. This channel, it's about fulfillment. So I keep hearing this stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, what I hear is people are asking for something. They're asking for guidance. They're asking for insight. But it may come in the form of a complaint. It may come in the form of frustration. It may come in a lot of different forms. But one of the things that I've learned that you got to ask people, you got to ask yourself this too. And it's, what are you willing to let go of for change? What are you willing to put on the altar of sacrifice for change? If you're frustrated in life and you're just driving around and you're angry, like you just watched this car, and the indignation in the person's face when they just laid on the horn because somebody actually stopped at the light to turn instead of just turning. People that are frustrated and want change, they start souring and become more and more agents of chaos in life. I know a lot of people like, I don't ever want to be that person. Well, if you don't change the current circumstances that are agitating you, pretty good chance you're going to get there. So that's maybe a skill of mine, or a superpower, if you will. I don't make myself different. In my mind, I don't say I'm better than other people. I don't say that, other people go through this stuff, but it won't get me the same way because I'm better, I'm more developed, I have some sort of advantage or something. Like, no, I don't do that. Mine's this, like, hey, we're all people. I like to live in the world of I'm average. I put myself in the category of, if this person's susceptible to it, so are you. We like the other side of the coin. People, I've said this too. If somebody else can accomplish it, so can you. Same thing goes. Other people have become that thing, so can you. So if you're afraid of becoming a miserable person, well, it's time we start looking at what your agitations are that can turn you to misery. Figure out of the 8 areas of maturity and which one of those stand out that you really can work on. What works for me right now, community is a big one. Not the biggest of the areas, though. What it is when you understand those 8 areas, you can start really pulling the ones that need the most attention and the ones that you want to put the attention on. And say, okay, now I can do a priority-based approach. So community is one of them, which is my outreach process here. I'll bring other people in to this education that are more advanced and more developed than I am, so that I have somebody who can help train and develop me. Give me some insights that I don't currently possess. I'd like to share what I'm doing and who I am and what I do possess with that person as well, and these people, so that we can grow in a well-rounded way. And we also see that the world has hope. There's a lot of people's frustration right now is they don't feel hope. They don't feel that they have a chance. They don't feel like they have the ability to do something. And a lot of that is they don't have the ability within themselves. The wait for the promised land opportunity. You know what? I'm going to wait until I get, I'll wait till I make this much money, and then I'll do something. I'll wait till the kids are grown up, then I'll do something. I'll wait until I get the new car. I'll wait until the economy's better. I'll wait until I meet the right person. I'll wait until, and you see like this continues to go on. I'll wait until, which is really, it's the promised land conversation. Whenever the promised land shows up, then I'll live. Yeah, man. The reality that people have been taught to put their life on hold for the times to be right. We got reasons for that, right? You've tried things and you failed. Tried things and you failed. You probably tried things that have failed multiple times, the same thing. And then you make up a story about how it's not going to work. Your life won't work in that way. Give up the idea, give up the dream. Or wait till the time is right. You know, if you think about the stock market, people that wait until the time is right lose money. They don't know when to get in on something. They wait till everybody's talking about it, but guess what? If everybody's talking about it, it's too late. There's a pretty damn good chance that your money that goes in is going to be paying the people that are pulling out, and they're on to the next thing. Same thing. You know, want to wait? You're spending your life. It may not be the money. It may not be any other resource. It's your life. How fucking valuable is that to you? If you're in a relationship you're not happy in, and you want to wait till the right circumstances to make that relationship better or to do something about it, you're spending your life waiting. I've done it, and I can speak from this. I have spent my life waiting for the right opportunities. I've done it. Abso-fucking-lutely I've done it. Now, I'm not highly prone to it now, but I used to be. And I realized that it was a fool's errand to wait until the time's right. You do. Just do. You know, there's a tactfulness to life. And then sometimes when you realize that that tactfulness is failing, when you realize that it's failing, it's time to just do something. You know, if you can't be a surgeon in the process of making change, and you haven't been able to make any progress now, and it's been quite some time, you might need to actually do it a little less tactful than a surgeon. You just step right into something and just like, fuck it, I jumped in the water, man. It was cold, and it took me a couple of seconds to adjust to it, but I adjusted. But the first thing that I think you really should do, insight-wise, not advice, is, for me, I've always had to go back and look at what is necessary now. What do I need to pay attention to so that I can develop myself? I have somewhere to go. I have something to do. And why am I dragging my fucking feet to do it? Now, these are the kind of conversations I have with myself, because look, if I won't have a tough conversation with myself, am I going to wait for somebody else to have one with me? No. Well, I've been catered to too much in my life. I have been supported in ways that have disabled me. And that's not fair to the person that gave me the love and nourishment and the nurturing that they did. And it's not fair to myself. Now, I appreciate the help that I've gotten. But I'm also one that I don't like to take things. No handouts. I want my life. I want to earn my life. I'm willing to risk everything to create that life that I can go to bed every night knowing I've helped people. Not enabled. I have given the right kind of support to help people have a more fulfilled life. And the cost of that is significant, but I'll tell you what, the fear of all the stuff I put on the line that I threw up on the table to gamble with, the fear of those things, yeah, those things are not going to stop me. So, fuck's sake, man. So here's the deal. Think about whatever you've been complaining about for so long, and then come up with an action plan for it. I've shared in these videos several times, and I've shared with people recently in my life. The first thing that I realized that really started to make a big push for me, it started the snowflakes effect on the avalanche, is I do procrastinate, and I've spent so much time saying that I don't. But the realization that my type of procrastination is I don't take breaks and I don't like to take time off, and that it's actually more of a punishment to go on vacation than it is to relax and to be a pleasure. And that's something I have to work on. But my drive is too damn big. I take pleasure in the work that I do. I take pleasure in making a difference. That is its own form of the reward that people seek when they go on vacations. But this was the snowflake that affected the avalanche. Then I looked back at my life and I said, okay, Chad, what have you gone through? You have had how many careers in your life? Some people have one, sometimes two careers, but they'll have assorted jobs. Jobs are more just based for paychecks and things like that. You don't really overly invest yourself in going very far. You just bust your ass so that you can move forward. So, yeah, I look back at it and I said, you know what? 4 careers, Chad. You've created 4 companies too. Not all those were my careers. They were just, whenever I had a handyman service, that was a job that my childhood friend and I tried to put together, and we learned some great lessons out of that. It wasn't profitable at all. It was a big loss, but the lessons were invaluable, priceless. And then I've had things I dedicated a decade of my life to, is one of the careers. And then I walked away from it because I realized that everybody I worked around were miserable. And they were all career employees. They've been with the company over 20 years. They're about to retire. On their way out, 5 years or less for everybody that I worked with was their retirement timeline. They were fucking miserable. Just absolute miserable people. But knowing them, they were good people. When they got into the job, they all said they were like me whenever they got started. They were so excited, so happy that they got the job. They saw career opportunity. They saw that they can make a great living and raise a family and have so much joy in their life. And then they're sitting there going, me. I've been divorced and married 4 times, 3 times. It was not uncommon to find out that the people I worked with had been divorced and that they had children that didn't want to speak to them. And I'm like, I don't want that life. And I felt so bad for them. And I said, you know what? I won't live it. I will not live that life. I spent 10 years to get to this point, and I don't want it. I know there's something out there. So immediately when I left, I tried to start a charity. And I was put in touch with somebody that did successfully start a charity. And speaking with him got me onto the next career. And that's where I became a corrective exercise specialist, working inside of a physical therapy office, and then moving on from there to my own private areas and things, and running my own company external of it all. And I went through my starving artist phase, but I realized that I was in the right direction, because it wasn't just about personal training. I do life coaching, I do developmental training with them, going over different things to try to help people break free of the muck that stops them in life. And I felt so incredibly satisfied, but I couldn't pay my bills. Struggled hard. Got rid of my cars, rode my bicycle everywhere. Got hit twice on my bike. Second time, threw me into traffic. Realized, if I don't make a change, there's a pretty good chance a third time on a bicycle might be the last time on the bicycle. And I'm like, I'm fortunate that I got out of 2 of them with minimal injuries. Fortunate. But then I said, I'm also tired of starving, tired of letting people down that I owe money to. I'm tired of struggling financially. And then I left that to go back into what I did for 10 years, another year, caught up on all my debts, bought another vehicle, had the whole thing set up, and I was on the right path. And then I realized again, I don't want this life. So I left it. That's not my second career. My second career was the company. that I ran as a holistic personal trainer. Third one is I got into a company that really taught me how to make a professional structure inside of the gyms. It was working in a box gym as a director of training, director of personal training. And I spent a good 5 years with them. And I had great success, top performer in the company, moved up from a director inside of the club to having a district management position with multiple clubs, making great money, and making great changes. But I wasn't able to do what my heart wanted me to do. And I had to pull out. I was tired of it. Like, you know what, guys, I need to go back to school. I want to go back for psych. I want to be able to make a difference for people. I've got to get a job that'll help me with that. And I became an insurance agent, health insurance. Spent a year on that. I was going back to college for a year. Not the first time either. It was a second time going back to college. So, yeah. So what you're hearing is somebody just keeps giving up, right? That's what it sounds like. Somebody keeps giving up? No, it was on the wrong fucking path. I was doing somebody else's life. Because what I did every single time is I got amazing. I mean, did really good at what I did. Minus the health insurance thing. That was a whole interesting experience. Lots and lots of lessons in that one. But still, what I would do is I'd get really good at it, and then I would buy around me. I'd buy things to help me just deal with the fact I wasn't doing what my heart called me to do. So I had to keep stepping away from it because I was doing somebody else's life. I will not live my life to pay bills and die. And I kept getting called out of it because that's my purpose in life. And I refused to surrender my purpose. Not for paying bills. Because there's something more in this life. So, I'm talking about the life changes necessary in order to have what you want, and then the risks that you have to put on the table, the gamble that you have to take. My house is now on the table. Everything that I have worked for to get to the life that I want is all on the table because it doesn't matter as much as my purpose. My family matters to me significantly, and they're with me in this. People that love me, that truly understand and truly support me, they're with me. Not always easy to accept the fact that I've got support because I'm used to doing everything alone. It's not easy. So I've got to surrender that too because my independence has made me an island. And that's not okay when you have people that love you and they want the best for you and they're willing to help you. But you need to know what the hell it is that you want. And so a lot of this stuff, man, I've had to untangle it. I've left relationships that seemed perfectly fine because it wasn't the relationship I wanted to be in. And it's not because, again, I abandoned everything. It's just you get into the comfortable things it tells you you're supposed to do, the people you're supposed to date, the life you're supposed to live because other people tell you what that's supposed to be. Television, all these other places tell you what it's supposed to be. And then you get the outliers, the ones that do motivational videos, the ones that get out and do public speaking, the ones that are industry leaders. They believed in themselves enough to get themselves to be the person that was most ideal for that situation. And they did it. And that's exactly what I'm up to. And I encourage you to do the same. But you don't have to play a big game in life. You don't. That's my thing. I want it. Because I want to make a difference and I want to change people's lives for the more desirable for themselves and others. Absolutely. But the thing that I want you to do for yourself is figure out in the 8 areas where you feel the stress that is robbing you of the joy in life, the fulfillment in life. Because as of right now, if you don't remember the 8 areas, I'll give them to you real quick so you just have them. Okay, your physical body, what condition are you in? Your number 1, physical body. It's not exercise. Exercise is a part of it. How healthy are you? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you worshiping the temple of your body? Do you give it the kind of care that you would give your own child? The kind of care you give your pets? The kind of care that you are the custodian of that thing? What are you doing with it? Because if you don't care for it enough, I don't care what performance you want out of it. You want to be a mountain climber, but you're always eating trash and you don't get off the couch. And you're going to be a mountain climber? Nobody's going to believe that you're going to be able to. You're going to be sorely disappointed once you start trying. Because you won't be noteworthy other than the fact that you busted your ass and somebody may have laughed about it. You have to take care of yourself, and then you develop yourself to adapt to the environment for a performance level. You want to run faster, fantastic. It's not all about physical prowess, but sure, that's in there. So what is it that you want, right? What are you doing with your body? First one's physical. Second one, community. The people, your relationships with other people. Who are you to them and who are they to you? Do you have a support group that gives a damn that you're alive? Do you care that the people that are in your support group are alive and well? Like, what's your place with community? You know, higher level community things like politicians and church leaders and people that go out and do nonprofits, or people that are out on a mission to make change. Those people are all working inside of community with their values of whatever they're attached to seeing that change associated with. Where are you with your community? That's the second part of maturity, the second area. Again, these don't have to be in order. They can work whatever they want. It's easier for me to teach if I put them in an order like this. Third one is your cognitive or intelligence. Are you as smart as you want to be? What do you need to learn to be better at what you want to accomplish? Do you even give yourself subject area information? It doesn't have to be specific to exactly what you're doing. But if you're wanting to learn business, what are you reading? What are you taking in? What do you listen to? Are you subscribed to things like this or other podcasts? Do you do anything to help you understand business better? Do you do anything to develop yourself so you're smarter? Are you taking care of and nourishing yourself in intelligence? I cannot tell you how often I hear people tell me that I'm smart, or I'm incredibly intelligent, or I'm brilliant. I'm not bragging. I dismiss those things. I am highly curious. I do not want you to think I'm different than you. I am just incredibly curious. That childlike wonderment and curiosity that so many people grow out of, I didn't lose it. And it's something that you can develop. You just have to want to learn. Curiosity. What are you doing to build yourself up? I freaking dropped out of high school because they couldn't engage me. And then I went off and got my GED and I went to college. And next thing you know, I've got a library at home. I refuse not to learn. You know, I rarely listen to music, but I do listen to it. And I care about music and it has a lot of value. But I rarely listen to it. Because I'm more listening to something to help me develop. I absolutely love learning. It's entertaining to me to learn. It feels amazing to learn. Including the areas I'm uncomfortable with, which goes, Chad, there's growth, man. There's some pressure coming their way from that. Like, that is great. Love to learn. What are you doing for yourself in intelligence and your cognitive functions? That's the third area of maturity. Fourth one, emotions. What are you doing to develop yourself emotionally? Do you hide from your emotions every time you get frustrated or upset? You get rid of the frustration or upset, or you smug, you dismiss it, you avoid it, you do whatever just to not have to face it. You're worried that other people will think you look bad because you're upset. What do you do with your emotions? You embrace them? Do you look at it and go, what has me feeling this way? Who am I? And how can I grow with this stimulus? Because all it is there's a blip on the radar, and now you got an opportunity to learn something. Because you got your radar active and something showed up. Your work starts in emotion. It really gets to work. Not starts, but it gets to work when your emotions are active. Feeling in love. Awesome. Don't fight it. Look into it. Am I in love, or am I feeling somebody is bringing something to me I have missed and did not have prior to this person being in my life? Is it really love that you're feeling? Or is it the completion of an area you're incomplete in and it feels really good and you associate that directly to that person and you feel comforted and supported and nourished? But that does not mean that you're in love with the person. That just means that they're putting a block into your life that you have been missing, and they make you feel a little more whole. A lot of challenges with that, by the way, because then there's the debt. There's you grow into your best friend instead of your lover. There's all kinds of challenges that comes out of that. And you might live the rest of your life with that person and be completely content. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I have no interest in that. You haven't given me the permission to tell you how to live your life. And I won't take it. That's why I don't give advice. I give insights. So, emotionally, last time you felt really little, beat up, like you didn't have any options. Did you cry in the corner of the shower, hot water on you? Just trying to figure it all out before the water gets cold? Or did you say, whatever it was that got me here, I'm going to look at myself. I'm going to figure out what traits are in my character that had me make the decisions that I did that got me here. What did I trade out to develop here? Or not to develop, I'm sorry. What did I trade out to just have that in my life? What did I concede that actually was important to me, but at the time I was overwhelmed by the fact that I would rather trade off that thing so that somebody else would just want to be in my life? What did I concede? Because that stuff haunts you. It'll come back eventually if it's something that really does mean something to you, but didn't seem as bad or as inconsequential at the time. Once whatever it is that actually masked that in your perspectives and your emotions, whatever it was that had you go, yeah, I won't do that anymore, that's fine. What comes out of that is that after everything else that person brings to your life and satiates, you'll forget that you went through that hardship that made you oversee or make that thing that was important to you so inconsequential. Then that thing, once that stimulus that really had you upset, that had you bothered, feeling like really whatever it was, alone or whatever, once that thing comes, like once all those other things have calmed down and they're no longer nagging at you or an obvious issue for you, then you can say, I probably shouldn't have given that up. I should not have agreed to let that thing go. You can have access to that by being aware when those emotions pop up. Do something with it. You absolutely can. But you see, who told you you could? Most people won't talk about this. They make emotions the taboo thing. They need to stay away from it. Or they weaponize emotions. Or they try to create a guru of the emotional position. I've experienced this, the whole like giving people advice whenever they're going through something and they're like, well, through hindsight, I learned this and this is how I feel about it. You should do this too. Little micro gurus that basically try to get to puppeteer you because they never actually did the thing they're hypothetically talking about, but they don't tell you it was hypothetical that they learned from hindsight. They never actually applied it. That's the most common thing too. Relationship advice that's never been applied. I learned this in my last relationship. Did you learn it in the last relationship, or you learned it after the relationship was over and you had enough time to process everything, but you didn't have real-time reactions? And the current relationship you're in, you still don't do what you said that you learned from the last relationship. But this person's going through some shit, so go ahead and throw those hypothetical solutions at them and then push them into that position every time you talk to them to see how it's working. And if they don't take your advice, you're going to get all upset about it. What? What do you mean you didn't take my advice? Or, oh, okay, I'm glad that worked out for you. And you're patiently waiting for it to fuck up again so you can push your advice back in their face. I fucking hate advice. If you don't tell me that you want my advice and give me the information necessary for me to truly try to project myself into your life, I'm not going to give advice. Insight. That's it. Insights. That's what I've gone through. This is my experience in it. Oh, yes, emotions. You can develop them. But we don't have a whole lot of mentors in that. You just got to figure it out. Well, you can figure it out with this. Start working your way through it and actually have access to a whole lot more if you just understood that you had the ability. Most of us have the ability, but you don't have the user's manual to tell you got it. It's like a car. You never actually did anything other than drive it. You don't know what's in it. You don't even know there's a light in the glove box. You don't explore through the vehicle because you didn't have an access to do it. You have no reason to. No manual to tell you what's there. That's what the maturity project is, a manual fulfillment in life. Emotions, finances. That's another one. It's a fourth area. It's a cool thing about finance is that it's not just about whether or not you can save money or that you make a certain amount of money or where you live or where you work. Another thing about finance is where you spend your money. What kind of commitments do you make with it? Are you using your money to distract you from something else you don't like in life? Something you're not satisfied in? Is that trying to fill this God hole thing that we have? Because when you let an area become too immature, it's a hole you can't fill, but you sure as shit'll try. You'll keep taking areas of strength and you keep dumping it right into that hole. And you don't understand it, you get jealous and envious at other people that actually know how to deal with it. And if you see it, you can get envious of it. And you're like, damn, that'd be great. Admire them. But admiration and envy can easily turn to jealousy, frustration, upset. Because you don't understand what it took for them to get there. And you sit back and you're like, well, you got all of this money. You must have screwed people over to get there. Or you never talk about money stressing you. I don't understand it. I'm constantly stressed about money. It's financial maturity. Yep. Gets to the point of even where you spend your money, whether or not the company you're spending the money with is a company you want to support. And you now look at it like their goods are not as good because their viewpoints on the world and what they're up to and what their outcomes are not desirable. I don't want to give them any more money. No, so you stop shopping there because you have financial maturity and you also have other areas of maturity and say, you know what, screw you guys. I don't need your products. Other people offer products that are similar, services that are the same or similar. Then you start financially using your money in the way that's actually better for you and aligned with your life's goals and purposes. But we'll get to purpose in a minute. So, if you're more mature, you'll actually loan that with the right kind of stipulations that help them focus on what got them to that spot in their life that made them have to ask you for money. What was it that got them to that point? That's a powerful way of developing somebody. Massively powerful to help them develop. And you have contingencies on the money versus just pay me back. Financially mature people aren't looking for the just to pay me back. I want to know that I made a difference in your life. Sure, I want my money back. The interest that I'm going to give you on that is that you develop yourself. You got to grow because I don't want you coming back every time you're out of money. I'd rather you get to the point you don't have to worry about that because you've developed, you're more mature in finance. That's the fourth area. Fifth one, business. No, I'm sorry. Sixth one, it's business. Where are you in your business? If you work for a company and you spend most of your time sitting around gossiping and or talking trash or drama or just passing the time and watching the clock, you're not very business mature. You are a paycheck employee. Paycheck employees are not very mature in business. They're the ones that think that the company should do everything that they think they should do and not understand why the company doesn't do what they're doing, what they think is best for them. You develop yourself. You work for a company, you're entry level. Well, what's the next level up? Team lead, manager, something like that. What are you doing to develop yourself and become that? You spending your time bitching and complaining about other people around you, or are you looking at how to be the best you can at the position that you have and looking to what the next position up requires of you? In order for you to have those skills, you work on those skills. You want to move up, right? Or do you want to keep making the same money and then stay in the same spot and see how satisfied you are working in the same position for 20 plus years? Now, there are some people that's perfect for them. That's what they want. I'm not downing those people. And they can be business mature in that world too, because that's what their goal is. But if that's not your goal, you better get to work, man. especially if you have ambitions of running your own company. Because I can tell you right now, there's a whole lot of people that fail at that one. It's far more dynamic. And the stress that you're feeling as an employee is nothing like the stress you'll feel as running your own company. Because you got so many other things you have to keep your eye on that you aren't currently aware of being the employee. It's just hard to know. You don't have your own money on the line. It's hard to understand that. What the investment stress is and the joys of actually seeing the return on that money, or the fear of not getting any return and that you've lost it. You don't know those things because you're not developing yourself to. Business maturity, man. Entrepreneurs in the same category, man. You got to learn how to become better and better about what you do so that you can mature through it and become a badass. Okay. 7th area, sexuality. Yeah. How are you developing yourself in sexuality? I cannot tell you how many people are on social media and they complain about their partner. And when they're single, they're out in the nightclub in skimpy clothes, shaking their ass. And then they go back online and they talk about how happy they are about the person that they met. And you got a couple of months worth of it or however long. And then before you know it, the complaints start to roll in. My partner did this. My partner is that. My partner, blah, blah, blah. I'm stressed out. It's like you're looking for therapy or some sort of cathartic release in social media and not taking for a second to go, where did I meet this person at? What are our liked values? Did you even use the maturity project and the 8 different areas of maturity to find out where the other person is so that you could better align yourself, or just tell yourself, hey, you know what, we're just going to have this experience and then that's it. And you're not so attached to putting and dumping in a bunch of resources to try to make the relationship work. You're on the same page. How many people don't know that? They just swing around like wrecking balls trying to find the right place to just hang out, not realizing that they're waiting to just destroy the structure that person lives in, or to cause harm to the structure. Because, hey, if it doesn't work out, it's our society now is not like, hey, it just didn't work out, it's an amicable separation. No. It's like WWE, man. You got all kinds of people just waiting to root for their favorite character. Oh my God, that was horrible. I was in the stands cheering for you. You want a new wrestling mate? I'll jump in there with you. Let me hop in your DMs and tell you how hot and sexy you are and everything you're going through is wrong and you wouldn't get that with me. No way. You can do better. You deserve better. All that other bullshit that comes along with sexuality issues. Because people sit there and they show off the thing that they're going to resent about their partner. We got into this because you saw me in the nightclub and I was doing that dance move and you really liked it. You came up to me and the way your body moved with my body. And man, we really felt good touching each other. And I really felt I had so much fun with you. Well, let's look at what peacocked their way into your life. What were you peacocking? What was the bait you used to get their attention? Because more often than not, whatever you use to get their attention and they value you for that thing, eventually gets to the thing that you resent them for. But you did it. It was you. Or it's contributory to the other things that you resent your partner for. Because you did it. And if you're looking for your partner to be the right person, you're looking at the wrong person. You have to be the right person. Otherwise, hey, you just keep having these rinse and repeat cycle relationships. So lather that bad boy up and then rinse it on out and start over again. That's it. Just keep it up. Sexuality has a lot more to that too. It's how you dress, how you carry yourself. It's how you interact with people, the way you speak with them. It's your charm, it's your charisma. Those things are all inside sexuality. It's not just sex. But all of those things, if they're immature, then yeah, you're going to have some problems because you're going to get people to come along that are equally immature. Because mature people also like to work with other mature people. And whenever the areas of their immaturity show up, sometimes it's like, hey, how about you just don't talk about that or do that? And they start limiting you in your abilities. That doesn't mean that because they're mature in one area or several, doesn't mean that they're fully mature and they understand that you're in a growth process or that they can help you grow. Doesn't mean they understand any of those things. Because most of us are just trying to figure this thing out called life, and we're putting ourselves in an autopilot in some of these areas. Or we just think that when we get to a certain age, it'll just be a given. You get to a certain age, you'll just have all this stuff figured out. All of that is not true. None of that is true. You might be fortunate enough to have life's lessons to be carried over into a place where people call you wise, call you mature. But that doesn't grant every single area of your life. It doesn't give you the wisdom to be able to see the future in every area either. You have to put the work in to at least see the potential consequences of specific behaviors. No. But I can tell you what, there's a whole lot of stuff to do in this life. I don't know why the hell you wouldn't want to do that. Because, man, I got a lot of stuff I want to do in this life. And it also requires I develop myself in a lot of ways. Now, this is a beautiful opportunity for all of us. But if you get caught up and you're just trying to, like, you know what, I'm going to do OnlyFans, that's how I'll make money. Whew, you are about to trade off a whole lot of what you didn't expect. And how you're going to feel about people. And what easy money does to you whenever you can't make easy money again. That's a motherfucker in itself too, man. You get on there and you start making a bunch of money, then a regulation changes or something, and you built this golden palace around you that turns into a golden prison of misery. Because if you can't keep the money or make the money in order to stay there, but you use your sexuality in order to get there, you got a few choices after that. If you can't make that money anymore from that method, because something came down and there's a government regulation or OnlyFans creates restrictions that you just can't make the kind of money anymore, whew, that's a dangerous place to be, because I can tell you right now, that's the kind of depression that some people won't recover from. Because they made it big and they don't have any other way to make it big again. Because that's what they got. They learned enough about business, but they used sexuality. And the prettier they are and the crazier shit they did, that's how they became famous on that platform. It's not the only platform, but I'm going to use that for an example. Then spirituality, it's the 8th area. Purpose. This is an easy one for you. Now, most people think spirituality is religion. It's not. It's just an easy one. You know what? We've got all kinds of things that we can really get up to in life. But we're really looking to feel like we have purpose, whatever it is that we're doing. And for so many people, they don't even know what purpose feels like anymore. Or they've never felt it. So, spirituality is purpose. That's what it really is. You can find that through religion. You can use religion to help you find a purpose that you don't need religion to help continue to support. You can create clarity there. There's a great degree of wonderful community that you can find in religion. So I'm not knocking it. And I'm not saying what religion specifically either. I don't have one that's the right one. It doesn't work that way for me. I have the one that I find to be the most beneficial. But it doesn't mean because I don't know enough about another one that they're wrong. You know, I've only got so much to learn in life, and I'm very curious about a lot of this stuff. I studied religion more as an atheist than I did as a religious person. I looked at the whole world setup of religion so I could get my hands on and start looking at all kinds of stuff, but looking at it from a different perspective that, sure, it gives value even to this day. But I was so righteous, it was ridiculous. But not overly obvious to too many people, you know, because it's like, hey, it was just me. But I really, like, I was naive. See, this is what I put it. But purpose, man, you got to have something. Because if you don't have purpose, you're going to find ways of just becoming, like, passing through life. And that might even be your purpose, is just to pass through life. And you don't really want to do anything. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to create anything. You don't want to take anything away. You don't want any of that stuff. You just want just to live. And hey, that's fine. I'm not out to tell you you're wrong for that. But spirituality is a big one. Because if you have purpose, man, you'll go through anything. And you'll make the changes that are necessary in order to have the life you want. So if you're struggling with relationships and you can't seem to figure out what the problem is, well, look back at yourself, reevaluate, write down who the hell it is that you want to date and be that person. Don't wait for them to show up. You need to be the example so that who that person is and the world that you have in your mind, you become that, and it draws those types of people in. It's a pretty interesting little thing that we do. So if you want something different, you got to do different. Nothing changes, it doesn't change. This is how we get there. This is how we do it. So change isn't easy. And you can do it 1% at a time, 1% on a day, on a daily basis. You'll get so far. God, you get so far. Just do 1%. Just dedicate yourself that much. Love yourself that much to change 1% daily. Send me an email. I'll send you back the maturity foundation document. It's just a starter, just to give you this stuff. It's in writing, which is the basic. It's 8 areas, just something for you to work with. You look at it on a daily basis. The email is YOUR, so your maturityproject@gmail.com. Your maturityproject@gmail.com. I'll send it back to you. And if you send me over just like what you're up to and why you're up to it, that'd be great. It's not required, but I would like it if you can. It'd just be nice. So other than that, that's what I got for you guys today. Change 1% on a daily basis will change the world for you. Change the world for everybody. That you have to guide it. And if you want to really have it fulfilling and a fulfilling way of getting there, use the maturity project. Use 8 different areas of maturity. You will have more fulfillment in life. I guarantee it. It's just not always going to be simple. Well, yeah, it's not always going to be simple. It's damn sure not always going to be easy. But what else are you going to do? Who you want to be is going to take some growth to get there. And you got to break out of the shell that you've been living in and kind of grow beyond that, because nothing changes if nothing changes. So, all right, till next time. Chat over Broshears, or search out over Broshears for some. If you know, this is the Maturity Project. This is about change. Share this video with the person in your life you want to break the ice with. Somebody you really want to make a change in a conversation, to really have a meaningful conversation. We have a lot to do, but the good thing is that one day at a time, 1% of the time, we can change the world. So first you got to change yours, though, because the path to hell is paved with good intentions. And we're on a super highway to get there. And how we get there is we don't work on ourselves, but we just make ourselves less important and other issues more important. I'll get to me whenever it's time. I'll do that destination paradise. I'll wait till it's the right opportunity, and then I'll work on me. But until then, I'll work on everything else and everyone else. Cart before the horse. All right, till next time. Again, chat over Broshears. Let's go. Let's get up to something. All right. See ya.